So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first?
He performed.
Snoop is just really hilarious.
Snoop Dogg is funny,
He's doing all these things.
Snoop Dogg just got a warning. And not from the law or another rapper, but from Katt Williams himself. Yeah, Katt Williams, the man who never holds his tongue for anybody. And this time, he's calling Snoop out for what he says is selling out. Or, as Katt puts it, turning into a political dog.
Your career down the road. People might not want to book you in Texas or Arizona or California.
Sir. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Let's let that.
Katt didn't hold back, saying, "No, sir. Your career down the road, people might not want to book you in Texas or Arizona or California. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Let that happen." You can feel the sting in every word. When Katt sends a warning, it's never for attention. He means it. He doesn't chase clout. He drops truth bombs when he's got something real to say. And according to Katt, Snoop's playing with fire, caught in a game where loyalty, power, and truth don't always mix. Katt's been tearing through Hollywood lately, calling out hypocrisy and naming names like Steve Harvey, Cedric, and D.L. Hewley. Nobody's been safe. But this time, when he said Snoop Dogg, the room froze. Why? Because Snoop isn't just a name. He's a symbol, a legend who rose from gangsta rap to global fame, from Death Row Records to daytime TV, from the block to the White House.
Just want to say this real quick, now on the political shit. All you people for the federal government that not getting paid right now, ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid motherfuckers.
Was inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States of America. Snoop Dogg performed at the Crypto Ball. Now, Snoop Dogg, he got the backlash because people are like, wait, this isn't the same Snoop from 2016 who had so much to say about the artist performer.
And remember when Snoop once said, "Now don't know political shit. All you people from the federal government that ain't getting paid right now, ain't no way in the world." That was the old Snoop, the one who spoke for the people. But Katt's message? It cut deep. He said Snoop Dogg ain't the same Snoop anymore. Somewhere along the way, Katt says, the dog stopped being real and started playing nice with power.
Yeah. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black.
This ain't the same Snoop who rolled with Pac and went toe-to-toe with Death Row. This ain't the Snoop who dropped Doggy Dog World and made the streets proud. This is the Snoop who hangs with Martha Stewart, the one doing ads for insurance companies and pet food. The Snoop who's cozying up with politicians and CEOs. To Katt Williams, that's not growth. That's betrayal.
Of course, Snoop has responded to the backlash he received for performing for a Trump event. One of the things he pointed out was that we always stick together. We're good at tearing each other apart, which is pretty constant. It's pretty consistent when somebody gets into trouble. It takes backlash from the community. It's always a communal thing. It isn't any action they took. It is the fact that we can't stay together, that we can't stick together, that it's us always attacking us. But that flies in the face of the reality of what's happening right now. It is not us who are tearing down affirmative action. It is not us who is tearing down DEI. It is not us who are tearing families apart. It is not us who have decided that affirmative action and rollbacks that have been that had precedent for 50, 60 years are gone. It is not us that is doing it. It is, I think most people are disappointed because they saw you a specific way, and you have a right to kind of interpret and do whatever artistically you want to. No one's begrudging you that. But why the attack on the community because they disagree with something you did?
Now, don't get it twisted. Katt's always shown Snoop respect as a legend. He said it himself. Snoop opened doors, turned gangster culture into mainstream power, and made success look smooth. But in Katt's eyes, somewhere along the way, Snoop forgot what made him great. That raw authenticity, that voice of the streets, that fearless man who stood against the system, not beside it. And in a world where truth tellers are vanishing, Katt ain't letting that slide. He's calling it exactly how he sees it, loud and clear. So where did all this tension really begin? Let's rewind. Back in the early 2000s, Snoop Dogg was untouchable. He survived the death row chaos, built his own empire, and stood tall as one of hip-hop's most respected OGs. He was cool with everyone. Jay-Z, Ice Cube, you name it. Snoop was that mentor figure, hip-hop's big uncle. But then, the shift came. Snoop started popping up at political events, defending some celebs while staying silent about others. He began backing brands, politicians, and causes that fans felt didn't fit his realness. And that's when Katt Williams saw the red flag. 'Cause as Katt always says, when they can't control you, they cancel you. And when they can't cancel you, they recruit you. Katt Williams straight up thinks Snoop got recruited. The real tension started when Katt noticed how quiet Snoop stayed during key moments in hip-hop. When artists were getting blackballed, Snoop stayed neutral. When people were exposing the industry's dark side, Snoop played peacemaker. And when questions about exploitation came up, he went silent.
Snoop is just really hilarious.
Snoop Dogg is funny,
He's doing all these things.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first?
But the moment Hollywood threw a party, Snoop was front and center. To Katt, that looked like a man protecting his position, not his people. So when Katt said, "I'm sending Snoop his last warning, stop being a political dog," it wasn't just talk, it was a direct challenge to a man he once admired. Let's break down what Katt really meant. In his world, there's two kinds of dogs, the street dog and the political dog. The street dog is loyal, hungry, and fearless, raw and untamed. The political dog, trained, obedient, polished. Katt says Snoop used to be that first kind, wild, real, unpredictable. But now he's acting like the second, a man trained to protect the system, not the streets. And you can't deny it, there's some truth there. Snoop's on TV more than he's in the studio these days. He's doing cooking shows instead of community shows, selling products instead of messages. Now, Katt's not hating on growth, he's just questioning what kind of growth it really is. He's asking the world straight up, did Snoop grow as a man or just as a brand? Here's the thing, Katt Williams doesn't care about fame. He's never chased Hollywood's approval. He's been fighting that machine his whole career. He's been arrested, blackballed, banned, and mocked, but he never stopped talking. And that's exactly why people trust him, because Katt doesn't owe Hollywood a thing, and he's not afraid to lose it all. What really scares him is what happens when folks stop telling the truth. Now, here's where it gets real deep. There's history between Snoop and Katt. They both came up around the same time. Different lanes, but the same coast. West Coast legends, both loved and respected by the streets. Snoop always showed Katt love in public. They even hit radio shows together, comedy sets, interviews, all that back in the 2000s. But over time, that energy shifted. Katt started noticing something off. Snoop was defending the same Hollywood players Katt was calling out. When Katt was dropping names like Steve Harvey, D.L. Hewley, and Cedric the Entertainer, Snoop stayed silent. Even worse, Snoop would be smiling in pictures with those same people like nothing ever happened. That's when Katt drew the line. He said, "You can't be for the people and still shake hands with the puppeteers." And everyone knew that shot was aimed straight at Snoop. And let's keep it real. This ain't the first time Snoop's been accused of switching sides. Back in the death row days, he was ride or die for the streets. But after Tupac's death, things changed. Snoop pulled away from Suge Knight and started forming new alliances. That move right there still has people questioning where his loyalty really stands. After Death Row, Snoop linked up with No Limit, then went full corporate, and eventually straight to Hollywood. He's reinvented himself more times than any rapper alive, and that's exactly why he's still standing strong. But that's also why some folks stopped trusting him. See, Katt Williams ain't attacking Snoop's success. He's questioning his soul. He's basically saying, you used to lead us, now you follow them. Snoop hasn't clapped back at Katt directly yet, but the internet sure has, and it's split right down the middle. Half the people say Katt's just hating, jealous, bitter, mad at anyone who made it big in the mainstream. They argue Snoop's just doing what any smart businessman would do, evolving, adapting, surviving. But the other half? They say Katt's the only one brave enough to say what everyone's been whispering, that Snoop's been playing both sides for years. preaching real while living corporate, talking loyalty while moving with whoever cuts the biggest check. And maybe both sides got a point, because this ain't just about Katt and Snoop, it's about what happens when fame and authenticity collide. Snoop represents survival, the man who made it out and stayed relevant. Katt represents rebellion, the one who refuses to bow down even when it costs him everything. It's two worlds clashing. Play the game or expose it. And right now, Katt's making it clear he thinks Snoop's gone too deep into that game to ever come back clean. So the real question is, what exactly is Katt warning him about? When Katt Williams said last warning, it hit like thunder. It sounded like something big is coming. Some fans believe Katt's warning Snoop about karma, about the price you pay when you trade your purpose for politics. Others think he's warning him about the danger of playing both sides, because sooner or later, both sides turn on you. And some folks say Katt's just tired of watching the legends he grew up respecting turn into puppets for power. Katt once said, "The moment you stop talking for the people stop talking for you." And that's exactly what he's telling Snoop. No matter how rich, famous, or iconic you get, if the streets stop feeling you, then you've already lost. That's why this warning cuts so deep. It's personal. Katt's not just talking to Snoop, he's talking to every entertainer who's forgotten where they came from. He's saying, don't let them turn you into something you're not, because once you lose your voice, they don't need you anymore. That's the real message buried under all the smoke and drama. Snoop's career shows just how tricky fame can get. He's been everything: gangster, icon, businessman, peacemaker, comedian, actor, mogul, and he's earned every bit of it. But with every new move he makes, that question keeps getting louder. Has Snoop gotten too comfortable? Too polished? Too political? Because the same Snoop Dogg who once said, "F the system," is now sitting on talk shows with the system, and that's the part Katt can't respect. Still, one thing's for sure. No matter how wild this gets, nobody can erase what Snoop has done for the culture. Snoop helped build West Coast hip-hop from the ground up. He mentored artists, created jobs, and gave back to the community. He's one of the few rappers who truly aged gracefully. No scandals, no public meltdowns, no crash and burn moments. But maybe that's the problem. In a world that thrives on chaos, being calm starts to look suspicious. And Katt Williams, he's pure chaos. Loud, real, and unpredictable. So when Katt looks at Snoop's calm, he doesn't see peace, he sees compliance. And that's exactly why this story feels far from over. Katt's never been the type to whisper warnings. When he says last warning, he means it. If Snoop even hints at a response, you can bet Katt's coming back 10 times harder. This ain't just talk. This is a straight-up clash between truth and tolerance, between the rebel and the ruler, between two legends who took completely different roads to the same spotlight. Katt represents the people, raw, unfiltered, fearless. Snoop represents the dream, the man who made it out and built an empire. Both started real, both changed the game, but one refuses to play it. And in Katt's eyes, that's the difference. So what happens next? Maybe nothing, maybe everything. Because in this industry, silence speaks louder than words. And if Snoop stays quiet after this, it won't mean peace. It'll mean power's still running the show. This is Buzz and Drama, where we dig into what really goes down behind the glitz. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Do you think Katt's right? Did Snoop sell out to the system? Or is Katt just tired of fighting battles no one else will? One thing's for sure. When Katt Williams says, "This is your last warning," you better believe he means it. See you in the next one.